Alrighty everyone, welcome back. Happy Friday everybody. I hope you're all having an amazing day and have some exciting plans for today. Besides that, we have a lot of things to talk about when it comes to Disney, Star Wars, and what's going on with various Lucasfilm projects that are currently in the works, and how this really does actually involve George Lucas at heart. Now, we do know that Bob Iger is currently very desperate and really in a phase of damage control. I mean, let's just admit it the way that it is. He's really trying to turn Star Wars around back to the way it used to be pre-Disney Star Wars, basically. Trying to reunite the fandom and get the ball rolling on that. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, given that we have a lot of things happening between Disney Star Wars right now, with a lineup of various Star Wars shows and movies that are currently being worked on, we know that Bob Iger is very standoffish right now with announcing specific Star Wars movies per se. They don't want to prematurely officially announce anything just yet, a big mistake that Kathleen Kennedy kept on doing. But that brings us to George Lucas and exactly what Disney is allowing Lucas to do, and how they are actually on a course correction right now for a specific Lucasfilm project. So let's dive right into this. Now, we know that John and Dave have only talked highly about George's work. They love what he actually approved for Legends back, 20 plus years ago, and what really happened, of course, out of Disney Star Wars when it came to really, kind of just shifting away from Legends. John and Dave were never really a fan about that. And so that's why they are basically reinventing the franchise, bringing Legends back into the overall focus of the franchise, right? So, with Disney and Lucasfilm preparing to develop new Star Wars TV shows to add to the roadmap, creators John and Dave are working closely with George Lucas. Further, it's noted, however, that Disney just hired George Lucas for something very special that is about to go into early development very soon that will involve him as a co-writer to rewrite a specific Star Wars project. Now, it's described that nearly all Disney executives have agreed to reinstate Rangers of the New Republic, to go back into production and to have a different title with a similar storyline that will be considered a true sequel to Return of the Jedi, taking place just days after the events of the film. Now, Lucas has been approached by Iger to get involved in rewriting the script with John and Dave to essentially reincarnate the series into something true in spirit to what it originally was, but with a different layout. Now, this is best described to be something that John and Dave have been fighting for months now, and have been trying to get George involved in the rewriting process of the series as well. So let me just stop here quickly for 1 second before I get to the next big piece. So obviously, Rangers was going to be a very highly anticipated series. I don't know if you guys remember it, but this is the show that was going to involve Cara Dune as one of the main characters, along with Luke, Han, and Leia being the focus on the side, along with some new Republic era focused characters as well. Alright? Now, we also know that this show primarily got cancelled because of Gina getting excluded and getting fired by Kennedy, and it wasn't just that though. A lot of ILM technology was not quite ready to bring Luke, Han, and Leia back in a realistic sense. Now that new tech that goes beyond regular de-aging technology and deepfake tech, it's something brand new that combines both, and with new elements involved as well. This was not ready years ago, and now it is, and so basically what's happening is that what this really is that it's basically the series getting reincarnated. Alright, they're basically taking the key portions of the show and really switching around the layout and how it's really going to work with the script. So a lot of that is being rewritten by not just George Lucas too, but as well as John and Dave getting involved with Rangers of the New Republic. It's not going to be called that, it's going to have a brand new title. Again, one could say that this is going to be a brand new series, but not necessarily. It's basically going to be the same story, but scrambled around in different ways. The main reason being is that once it was cancelled, like months and months ago, John and Dave actually took and salvaged a lot of story ideas from the show and dragged them into Mandalorian Season 4, ahsoka Season 2, and a lot of other projects on the table. So, moving on. Now, the series is set to focus on key scenes involving the return of Luke, Han, and Leia, with Billy D. Williams also in the talks to reprise his role as Lando Calrissian using special de-aging technology that will bring Lando back in action. Other characters associated with the rebellion will also make a big debut in the show, both major and minor characters. Gina Carano's Cara Dune is currently in the process of returning to the series, and that Kennedy is trying everything in her power to prevent that from happening at no surprise. Alright, so it's not really a big of a shocker there. Lucas will be handling a great deal of the rewrites for Rangers, and will be the one to choose the official title of the show. Lucas is said to be handling the scenes that will involve the return of Luke, Han, and Leia greatly, as they will be popping in and out of the show, but not necessarily the main characters. They are looking to base part of the series on Shadows of the Empire, in part from Legends, as well as other elements from the non-canon lore from decades ago. One of the villains that they are looking into, of course, is Prince Shizor. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when you look at stuff like John, George, and Dave, and how they really do believe in resurrecting a lot of great projects, and a lot of that had to do with a lot of the Legends stories that never became canon, bringing those back into live-action adaptations. That's basically what they're doing, which is nice and all. But this one show, alright, this show, I don't know if you guys knew, it was aimed to be bigger than The Mandalorian. More broad, more of a higher budget, more cinematic per se, not so, I guess you could say, restricted when it comes to how many portions of the galaxy they wanted to explore, right? They want to really go all out with this show and make it very expansive, a multi-season series, stuff like that. So, I think that, this is a very good thing that Disney recently is in the process of approving, getting George on board to rewrite Rangers of the New Republic, and allowing him to basically choose the new title of the show, I think is a great move. Now, again, I'm not quite sure how it's going to be retitled, and I will agree that Rangers of the New Republic was a bit of a bland title. That's just my 2 cents. I don't know if you guys agree with me on this, but it was a bit of a boring and bland title. That's just how I felt. And so renaming it to something a little bit more, catered to casual fans, where everybody can associate what the actual show means, I think is going to be interesting. It should be more relatable to how fans would understand it being a post-Return of the Jedi series. And sure, the New Republic screams that, but the New Republic is still a very new idea to a lot of casual fans. I have a lot of casual fans always messaging me, and a lot of people that I know, in person, that still to this day don't really know what the New Republic is or what it's really all about. They get kind of confused with that being the regular Republic. So anyways, with that being all put out there and said, I think that this is going to be a hit as long as they can execute this very well, and they take a lot of time on it, and they just respect the lore, which obviously if Lucas is involved, I'm sure that will remain. So fill me in below in the comments what you all have to say about this below, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.